You're watching Business Connections Live. We're into our last segment here on the programme today. My guest is Jonathan from Rockstar Group of Companies. See, I'm not even saying...
You've given up on the surname, haven't you?
Pfahl. I can say it, Pfahl. But just don't say it, because I'm just so conscious of it now. I once did a car launch, actually.
Yeah.
It was a Skoda car.
Yeah.
And I've got to think, even to this day, I've got to think about it. It was the Felicia.
I was going to say
the Felicia.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to paint any pictures here for you, but somebody just before I went on went, ladies and gentlemen, please, the brand new and I had to stop for a moment because it's the Felicia, because there's another word that sounds very similar to it, and I was sure I was going to call it,
which isn't a car either,
which isn't a car at all. So you just become very self-conscious about that whole thing.
Absolutely.
Listen, let's get down to business. Rockstar. One of the things now that you guys are offering is the funding. A lot of people talk about crowdfunding. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there when it comes to crowdfunding. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of misinformation about how you go about even going for crowdfunding, what it really means, how it will affect the company, how much of the company it will cost if you do crowdfund, what the dangers are, what the risks are, what's in it for the people that are funding that. This is just a whole program in its own right.
It is, yeah.
So you are offering now as an organisation for small entrepreneurships and large entrepreneurships an opportunity to come to you and go, right, let's get this thing funded, let's get the thing rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. So we own a crowd fund, and it's specifically designed to help the companies that we own raise money, which I'll come to in a sec, but also we have it as a platform that lets entrepreneurs, companies that we're not backing, they can obviously get access to raise money on that platform. It's tough, as much as people showcase and the big crowd funds that are out there that say it's easy, we've done this many billions of funds raised, etc. Out of every single company in the UK last year, Steve, that pitched for investment, what percentage do you think actually got it?
From crowdfunding, the way they would talk, I would say 60, 70%.
2%.
2%.
Every business that went out to the market and said, I want to raise money, not on a crowd fund, I'm not the ones who were approved to be on the platform, everyone who just went out with a business plan, with a pitch deck and said, we're a business, we want money. Only 2% out of 100. Got it. And
why? Is it because they were badly prepared?
Yeah, it's for all the same different reasons. The valuation is too high. The business or the product or the brand just isn't good enough. You don't have enough security if you're looking at debt funding or peer-to-peer. If it's an unsecured loan, that the banks or the peer-to-peer, the funding circles of the world deemed you too high a risk. Or you were successful on the platform and Crowdcube, for example, or one of the big funds said, we will back you, and you didn't hit your mark, so therefore you don't get anything. So when we saw this space in the market, we really looked at it and thought, what can we do if we're just looking to help companies raise money for themselves? What they all need now to have any chance of getting it is called a lead investor or a cornerstone investor. And this is what the big crowd funds will ask before they agree to put you up. Now, if you're trying to raise 100 grand, just to keep the numbers simple, they want to see evidence that someone, when you go live on Crowdcube, that they are going to put up 25 to 30,000 pounds, 25 to 30%, on day one, and then the rest of the people will follow. Very, very difficult for an entrepreneur to get someone before they're even on a platform to commit to 25, 30K. So our platform does two things. Number one, we can use it to create the lead investor or the cornerstone investor for that business through 50 people.
Right.
So we can then let their friends and their family, etc., all pool their money into one.
That's a really clever idea.
And then we hold the funds in our law firm, and once we get to 30%, we then go to our friends at Crowdcube, for example, and say, here's the lead investor, it's in the law firm, here's a guarantee that we're pledging it on day one, let's approve it and get it raised, right? So we do that.
So that really is a very, very clever way, isn't it? So it's the old way of friends and family.
But giving them a legal, FCA regulated way that they can trust to know that they're not just going to give the 30 grand, because if they need £100,000, the worst thing you can do as a family friend is give them 30, right? And say, please don't spend it. Right?
Yes. I'd like it back, please, if you don't mind.
Correct, right? So we do that, and that's not our main cause, but we do that because we're solving a big problem for a lot of entrepreneurs and the crowd funds as well too. But most of the companies that we raise for are our companies, are pieces of technology that we've seen, that we love, that the entrepreneur that owns the IP is trying to raise money for it, but they don't, they're not sensible in their valuation, and if they want to keep going and raising money, they can. But the other thing as well, you give £1 million, in my experience, to a young entrepreneur who's never seen that much money in their life, and you're a minority shareholder, without that control, there's only one thing they're going to do with that money, and that's spend it, hoping that it's going to deliver a return. If we raise £1 million for our industry, we might, for one of our companies, we might only need 100 grand right now for 3 new sales guys. So we'll drop the other 900 in our hedge fund, which is currently,
and then do a call down or whatever.
Exactly, but that 900 is working. It's a complete liquid hedge fund. We can pull it out whenever we want, but that money is working for us at the same time. So, but the one thing entrepreneurs really need to understand, especially the bigger the amounts that you go for, is it costs money to raise money. And we did over 46 deals last year, and that costs us money. And we're the majority shareholders in these companies. So we created a way to de-risk the investor, but also reduce our costs. So one of the things we do is called the Founders Club, where entrepreneurs or smaller investors can look at all the companies that we own. They can see what they are, what the description is, what the technology is, and like, ooh, I really like that one. I'd love to invest in that one. But no one wants to be the first one in, right? Unless they're family and friends. So we created the Founders Club, where they invest as little as £5,000. That money covers our cost to do all the legals, to put the pitch video together, to pitch it to investors, to pay to put it on the crowd fund, right? Because we have to pay money to put our own deals on our own fund. That's just how it works. And that money is used to raise the first round of SEIS, which is £150,000. When we receive that £150,000, we still own the majority of the company. And that owner, that Founders Club member, the entrepreneur who's invested the $5,000, they have a contract that says you now own £10,000 worth of shares in this company. So when we raise the first round, we go back to that founder and we say, listen, what would you like? There's option one is there's your £5,000 back, and you keep your 10,000 shares in the company, £10,000 worth of shares, in the company, or relinquish the shares and we'll pay you the 10,000 cash back. So that's the first way that we can hedge and ensure that our smaller investors are getting a return.
It seems a very attractive way of doing it. What kind of response have you had in the marketplace to it?
Very, very strong. Very strong. So
are you going to end up creating a marketplace that's going to become very busy for other people doing this? Or is it the uniqueness of what Rockstar can offer that allows you to be in a position to offer that kind of service?
Correct. The latter is the answer to that question. The reason I'm happy now to come onto these shows and talk about this as openly as I do is because it's almost impossible for anyone else to try and replicate what they're doing, what we're doing, unless you are prepared to build a resource bank as big as what we've got. Because if we're creating a company with this technology and having the rights to sell it, and you're not charging the entrepreneur anything, you need to make sure that you can sell it, that you've got a resource bank in-house that can cost effectively make it work. So unless you're prepared to replicate everything that we've built and own, it's very, very difficult to replicate.
This has been an interesting hour. I'm sure you found a lot of great information in there. If you are thinking at the moment of maybe going out and getting mentoring for your company, for your organisation, for yourself for that matter, and you feel sometimes the mentors that you've been talking to in the past are maybe just one-trick monkeys, in as much as they only know one particular stream of what you're after, here's an opportunity to nearly spread the risk when it comes to the mentoring. And then to add to that all the this does sound like an ad, it's not meant to, but the fact that there are all the other services that are there as well to plug into. And I think the thing that resonates with me, we are a nation where we are frightened to pick the phone up. I think a lot of people will do anything but pick the phone up to generate sales and leads, because we'd rather be tapping away at our keyboards and doing a bit of social media, because we feel that is the way of generating brand new leads. And of course, I think in many respects it isn't. You've got to pick the phone up. And in fact, we are now so deluged with noise from social media that the only way to stand out from the crowd is to pick the phone up and to go, hello, my name is this. Do you fancy doing that? It's been a fascinating insight. The whole hour, as always, has flown by. Would you do me a favour if, straight down camera number 4, if you could just give us the key takeaways, say who you are and where you're from, and also the key takeaways that we need to remember when it comes to mentoring, but also the services that you at Rockstar provide too.
Sure.
Airways are yours.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Pfahl, the founder and managing director of the Rockstar Group of companies. In essence, we are a resource bank for entrepreneurs and investors. Hundreds and thousands of companies are always looking to be that success within their sector. Entrepreneurs, you're going out there risking it all, your money, sometimes family money, in order to turn that dream that you've got into reality. The first piece of advice that I want to give you, and as a real take back I want you to get, is especially, and you learn this as you go more down the line of this journey, because it's not always what you expect it to be, is firstly know why the hell you're doing it. What's the goal? What's the vision? What's the physical amount you want this company to be when you sell it? Or what's that picture in your head that you're, relaxing on a beach or on your super yacht at one time? You need to know why you're doing it, because what we then do, and what we're really, really good at helping businesses do, is lifting the bonnet up on what you're trying to achieve based on that goal, and very quickly being able to assess to you why it's not working or what you can be doing to make it work a lot faster. And sometimes even the business that you're even trying to build is not the one that you should be, because it's getting you nowhere near your goal. So for entrepreneurs, we have access to some of the world's best mentors, business people who have been there and done it. You can get access to them. We rent our some of the best salespeople, in the UK to our clients' businesses, so we can actually pick up the phone for you very cost effectively and sell you and get you in front of your customers, or we can do that. If you need to build technology, an app, for example, we own an app development company. It is a very cost-effective platform that you can do. We own a law firm, we own a crowd fund, we own a hedge fund, we own a media agency, we own everything in-house. And the reason why we do it is because we're not in the business, believe it or not, of trying to make money from these resources. If we can give these services to you at cost, and you can reduce your cost, and your profits and sales start going up, you're going to be very, very happy. And then you're going to become an investor with us. And that's really what we love doing, is giving high net worths, small entrepreneurs access to invest in very fast growing tech businesses where we manage, we control, have all the resources in-house, and actually start delivering on the returns that you want. So for more information, rockstargroup.co.uk, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Cheers.
Thank you very much to Jonathan. If you want to go to their website as well, as Jonathan said, rockstargroup.co.uk, you'll find the website sitting there with all the information that you're going to be looking for. Just go onto the website. We'll have a quick gander at it right now, and you can see the different areas that we're talking about. Everything across the top there about Rockstar Group, mentoring, mentors, case studies, the app, the blog, also how to contact them, and then the key propositions that they make on the particular site. What I like about it is it's very clear, it's very precise, and it gets you to the business very quickly. You want to get more information, go to their website at rockstargroup.co.uk. Jonathan, as always, an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Let's not leave it quite so long next time before we get you, and I promise I will get your name right the next time.
I appreciate that, mate.
Thank you. Someone's just said Jackanory in my ear. The number of times we have met, you think I'd be getting it right, and how rude of me, and I do apologise. Listen, I hope you've enjoyed today's program. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with us today, and our thanks to Rockstar Group and to Jonathan for coming in to the studio today.
Cheers.